Exactly. Or you probably even say, my first child is of age already. I'm going to put my first child and maybe my lawyer. That lawyer is probably the same age with you. Your best friends are same age with you. So the tendencies that you actually either pass around the same time or they even pass before you is high. Then if you decide to name your child, knowing that you have, let's say, 100 children, I'm not to say you get 100 children, but...
No, they said he had 120.
I'm talking about you. But imagine if you now name just one child out of 100 children as executor. You've already created problems. Because even if that person from one wing, from one branch.
Indeed.
And they had 40 something branches.
So imagine even if that person wants to do the right thing, there's chaos already. Because no matter what he tries to do, you won't see him as being just or fair.
No trust.
There's no trust in it.
Indeed, yeah.
So first thing that comes to mind, appoint an institutional executor. Don't put your family, because right now he thought having a will was the solution. But he has created more chaos with that is perceived solution than an actual solution. Name an institutional executor. Like Babati said, try to update your will from time to time. When you wrote your will, you had just 20 children, you now have 50. You have to accommodate those new 30. Because if you don't, they will contest the will and set it aside.
But we know how to determine the number of children that we have. So let me ask.
So just to even zoom in, when we say institutional, trust entities are almost like what we have in pyramid. This in Nigeria, you could invest this and you get multiples of 10 times, if you will. It is a company, it's an institution.
Yeah.
But I think beyond that, it should be also a licensed institution. If that just helps as well. Yeah. So it is on the individual who wants to create a trust bears the burden of confirming that even though it is an institution, it is a licensed institution. Yeah.
Sure.
And in the case of Nigeria, the Securities and Exchange Commission.
Babati, let's talk about how we can then speak to clients. Capone tried to paint the picture of maybe he was advised and he didn't want to buy the concept of a trust. But I'm thinking this is a developed system. And for you to decide that you want to write your will there, that development should speak. How, in your opinion, do you think that we should start to speak to clients? Some clients tell you, I have trust abroad. I cannot do one in Nigeria. So he wrote his will, captured all his assets abroad. I did not capture assets in Nigeria. So what kind of formula should we start to use to talk to clients about this concept of trust that they can and must use with whatever will arrangement they have?
Well, I think when you are so wealthy that you have multi-jurisdictional assets, the first thing you have to admit is that sometimes it's complex in terms of what you can do, how what you are doing in Canada, for example, can come and be effective in Nigeria and vice versa. All right. So first thing is that you have to have a good advisor by your side. All right. That because it's specific. Right? Somebody might have assets in Canada and not in Belgium. Somebody might have in Belgium and not in Canada. So you have to look at the local laws, of Canada, of Belgium, or wherever you have those assets to see how, how what you have in Nigeria, which is your headquarters, so to speak, can, merge with what you have elsewhere. So the first thing is to have a competent advisor. Sometimes you might even need advisors out there, but don't leave assets uncovered because you think, because in this case, it was a function of he has more assets outside than in Nigeria. Meanwhile, the asset that the young man was complaining of in Nigeria
were
in Nigeria. And they were just moribund, they were defunct, they were not functional. They were going to waste, right? So what's now the use of all the assets outside when the ones locally cannot even cater for basic things locally? So what you have to make sure that there's that compatibility to say, okay, map out where your assets are and check the relationship of the laws in those jurisdictions to make sure that they are well covered. But I don't want us to talk too much about rich people, right? It needs to be emphasized that even for those of us that have not made our first $1 million,
that's a lot of money.
It's a lot of
$1 million is like 150 million naira.
And you're saying,
is it 150 million naira today?
50 million naira.
Is it? Are you sure?
Let me calculate.
I'm not very good at math.
That's you rich. Lower the scale. That's you considered as rich.
Anyways, but you get the point. Yeah. Those who have not reached, you have not reached that height yet. You also have to know that look, See, I was reading an article in The Economist recently, and they said that if you are born poor, you are likely to remain poor. If you are born rich, you are likely to remain rich. If you are born poor, it is now your duty to make sure that the likelihood does not crystallize.
Yeah.
But bro, the odds are that where the world is, the level of inequality in the world today is that if you are born poor, you are likely to remain so. So now it is a duty of us as parents to now say, I've born a child into this unequal world. We need to do something about it. So the small pension fund here, assets there and there that you think, I don't have enough yet, might actually be something decent for your child to get a foothold in the world that we are heading into. Right? The rich are getting exceedingly rich and the poor are getting poorer. How would you, as a parent, allow your children to go into this world that you have brought them into when they had the opportunity to use the modest assets that you have? So you just have to have a plan. You have to be deliberate about it.
Okay, so Isaac, for let's try and advise our clients with so much extension, 20 wives or 40 wives, 120 children, or technically speaking, 45 children. What kind of advice would you give to them when it comes to estate planning?
So the challenge here, really, particularly in this part of the world, and in fact with the human race, is that we start out being emotional than rational. That our default setting is emotional, and it's made worse when we are now people of means. Do you understand? And which is why it is always one key virtue every human being who is looking to remain relevant beyond their time should have is humility. What humility does is that it gives you opportunity to listen to the other person. Yeah. And I can give you loads of instances, because the miracle you need or the help you need tomorrow may not even be within your reach. It could even be with your house help. So we like to always be very emotional, and that's potentially could be the reason why, even though he had an advisor outside Nigeria, it would be difficult for him to even believe or even implement, the advice of the advisor. So to advise someone who is, individually, I've had an interest in speaking with a lot of billionaires, because clearly they are people of means.
Yeah.
Their common problem is passing the wealth to the next generation. It is a common problem. And in my region, being an Igbo boy, that it is common for the Igbo boys to make a lot of money. They can generate money. But the challenge that pervades that place is how to transfer the wealth to the next person. And so it is frittered away. So how then do I advise? My advice certainly has always been, because again, this is me who understands that knowledge is what drives progress, is the fact that from the beginning of man till the end of man has been forced to survive in a system. So life is that we see the good in life, it will be driven by a system. It's by a system. What will tends to do, in my view, is to contradict that system. So I want to implement an instrument of wealth transfer behind my back. How can it work? It can't work.
Wow.
Whereas from all the books, the holy books you can read, just imagine autobiographies as well. I give you a classic case of the man who a holy book describes as the wealthiest man, Solomon. Solomon clearly says in Ecclesiastes 2, and I'll specifically call out 18, he says, this labor I have toiled, who will benefit from it? And then we then have the cliche, vanity upon vanity, all is vanity. And it says, who knows in the next verse, who will come after me? Whether it's a wise person or a fool. And that you are wise is because you remain humble to understand that life has been structured around systems. And it is this system that trust is trying to recreate. So trust itself aligns with the law of nature. Because one day, like Babati says, there is an expiry date on your flesh. You will leave, and somebody else has to
take over.
And so, like Capone mentioned, it has to really be an institutional investor.
Institutional trust.
Sorry, institutional trust that should carry on your best wishes, no matter what.
It guarantees the
Pastor Zik has spoken. Let's
Pastor
drop the mic.
I was going to ask you to drop the mic, but since you said
Pastor
let's drop the mic, it's interesting to know. I think Babati captured it, that if you can't pass on wealth from one generation to another, even thinking about the third generation, then you've not done any good thing, irrespective of the number of people that you fed. And for your story to now be out there, some people have made further skits out of that one story, and we then find that it's something that will be talked about for a long time to come. While we have not gotten the perspective from the executor, I hope we get that perspective from the executor soon. It will be nice to know what he also thinks in terms of how the estate is being managed. But as we close, and as you watch us or as you listen to us, it's important that you understand that just having a will is not a sufficient...
May not always be sufficient.
Yeah.
It may not always be sufficient.
Okay. Babati says having a will may not just all be sufficient for your estate plan. You need to think about trust. And in thinking about trust, what other institution to speak to? But to speak to FBN Quest Trustees. This show is proudly powered and sponsored by FBN Quest Trustees. Until we meet again another time, please click on the notification button, share this episode, share this podcast, and let's have some form of conversation. If you want to get in touch with us, our numbers or email addresses are there. You can send us questions or even let us know what you think about this episode. Till we meet again next time, catch you.
Bye.
Bye.